What's up, guys? This is Mr. Johnson coming to you guys again with a video discussing Chapter 6, the Executive Branch of Government. So today we're going to begin our studies talking about Section 1, the presidency. So some of the key terms we're going to learn today is that the presidential line of succession. Okay? So the presidency. Who can become president? So at any position, there's always qualifications. There's always a set of requirements you have to meet in order to hold political office. And this is the same for American presidents. So there are three things that every person who wants to be president must be. Must be a native-born American citizen. You must be 35 years old. And you must have been a resident of the United States for at least 14 years. So that does mean that you can be born in the United States, move away, and then come back and live here for 14 years and run for president. Okay. So as long as you meet all three of those requirements, you can run for president. Okay. A lot of you guys think that in order to run for president, you have to be rich or you have to be in politics. That's not the case. Anyone who meets those three requirements, whether they live in Tallahassee or they live in New York City, can run for president. So the president's term is 4 years. Okay. Is a little bit different from senators and members of the House. Presidents serve 4-year terms. Whenever there's a presidential election, it's called a general election. Okay, now this is a one of the things that presidents are limited to based off the Constitution is that they can only serve 2 terms. Okay, one of the things that President Washington did when he left office is he wanted to set a precedent that presidents will only serve 2 terms. Now, most of the presidents have tried to do 3 terms. FDR is one of those. He wound up serving 4 terms as president. After he passed away in office during World War II, a couple of years later, Congress would pass an amendment to stop presidents from running for more than 2 terms. So how much does the president make? So the president makes around $400,000 plus $50,000 of taxable allowance, okay? Plus a bunch of annual allowances for costs and food and things like that. So, so far, everyone who's ever been elected president, they do have a couple of similar traits. And until 2008, they were all white. Most have been Christians. Most presidents have went to college. Many have been lawyers. Most have been from most have had political offices before as senators, governors, and other things like that. Okay. Now let's talk about the vice presidency. So the vice president is second in control. He is first in line of succession for the presidents, and he is also the president of the Senate. So the vice president has a lot of responsibilities as well. The vice president receives a salary of $230,000 plus $10,000 of taxable expense allowances. And as I discussed earlier, the vice president only has one job, and that is to preside over the Senate. But nowadays, modern vice presidents have a lot more, a more broad job than what they used to. Current vice president is Kamala Harris. So the rules of succession. So in the event that a president dies, the 25th Amendment of the Constitution states what is the line of succession. That Constitution basically states that the vice president will be second in line of succession, no matter what. Either the vice president is the Secretary of State, and so forth and so on. Every one of the cabinet secretaries are also in the line of succession in order based off when their departments were created. And that is it for section 1. I encourage you guys to kind of stop the video right here, go through questions 1 through 4, and even do question 5, so you can recall, summarize, draw, define, and synchronizing all information that we discussed in this section. If you guys would like for me to slow down, go back through this video, want to discuss this more in class, please let me know. And as always, go Tigers.